Sri Lanka's economic growth has increased to 8.3%. The President emphasizes that all steps will be taken to distribute the benefits of the country's economic development to the ordinary masses. Salaries of SLTB employees have been increased by 39%. Libya says that Gaddafi's son will not be handed over to the international criminal courts.
Well, those were the headlines, and taking a look at news in detail now. President Mahinda Rajapaksa said that similar to the vanquishing of terrorism, the determination for making Sri Lanka a wonder of Asia will not be abandoned. He said the benefits of the economic development of this country should equally be distributed to the ordinary masses. He said that all steps will be taken in this regard. The President made these comments at a function held for releasing the Central Bank report for the year 2011. The function was held at the Central Bank premises today. The 62nd annual report of the bank, printed in all 3 languages, was presented to the President by the Governor of the Central Bank, Ajit Nivard Cabral. As per the Financial Regulation Bill, the Financial Committee of the Central Bank presents the annual report to the Minister in charge of Finance. It is a detailed report about the country's economic status, the performance of the bank and the activities of the Monetary Board. The President pointed out the significant economic progress that has been obtained by the country is a direct result of ending terrorism.
President
Mahinda Rajapaksa said that over 3 decades our economy was weakened by terrorism. It made many problems to the country. Our economy was made to suffer in various manners. However, the government succeeded in vanquishing this obstacle. The President said that Sri Lanka even embarked on a development activity while fighting the war. The present economic development should be maintained in the future as well. The President said that there is a progress, and at times when the powerful economies in Europe was collapsing, there has been the continued progress. He said that the international community should help Sri Lanka in its current development drive. He emphasized that the goal of making Sri Lanka the wonder of Asia will not be abandoned.
ආර්ථික වර්ධනය ඇන හිටලා ජනතාව වීදි බහැලා මිනිසා අපි මේ ගෝලීය වාතාවරණයත් එක්ක ආර්ථිකය කළමනාකරණය කරගෙන බොහෝ දුර්විපාකව අවම කරගන්නට අපිට සිදු වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා. අපි පැහැබර අනාගතයක් සඳහා ශක්තිමත් අඩිතාලමත් දමමිනුයි ඉන්නේ අද. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවක ජාත්‍යන්තරයේ යුතුයකම් වෙන්නේ අපිට සහාය දෙනවා මිසක් අපිව දුර්වල කරන එක නෙවෙයි. ත්‍රස්තවාදී පරාජය කරා වගේ අපි මේ රටේ ජනතාවට එදා දුන්නු පුරුද්ද මහින්ද චින්තේ ආශ්‍රයාවේ ආශ්චර්යමත් රටක් බවට පත් කිරීමේ වෑයම අපි අත්හැරලා නැහැ.
The Senior Minister for International Monetary Affairs, Dr. Saratamnugama, Minister of Economic Development, Basil Rajapaksa, Deputy Minister of Finance, Geethanjana Gunawardena, President Secretary Lalit Weratunga, Secretary to the Prime Minister S. Amarasekara also attended the function.
Economic analysts point out that it is a significant victory for Sri Lanka to achieve an economic growth of 8.3% last year. Well, this is the first time that Sri Lanka has achieved an economic growth of over 8% for 2 consecutive years. This was stated in the Central Bank report for 2011 released today.
The strengthening of investor and consumer confidence, the positive economic background, infrastructure development and economic progress in North and East have contributed to this development. The value of gross domestic production has also increased to 6,543 billion rupees. The contribution from the service sector for this amount to about 59.5%. This is an 8.7% increase compared to the year 2000. The contribution from the industrial sector amount to 29.3%. This is a 10.3% increase compared to the year 2010. This is also the highest growth rate achieved by the industrial sector for the last 33 years. The contribution from the agricultural sector amount to 11.2%. The per capita income has increased from US dollars 2,400 to 2,866. The government investment in the GDP has increased from 27.6% to 29.9%. The unemployment rate has decreased from 4.9% in 2010 to 4.2%. It is significant that youth unemployment has decreased steeply. The export income last year amounted to 10.6 billion rupees. This is 22% increase from the export income of 2010. The tourist arrival have also increased by 200,000. Income from the tourists have registered a 44% increase and amounted to 830 million US dollars. The government income last year has increased by 14.4% compared to the year 2010 and it amounted to 935 billion rupees. The government has been able to reduce the expenditure by 21.4% of the GDP. The budget deficit has been reduced to 6.9% from the amount 8% in the year 2010. The loan percentage has been reduced to 78.5% of the GDP from 81.9% in 2010. The governor of the central bank, Ajit Nivard Cabral, said that the government was able to reduce the inflation to the level of 5% last year.
If you look at the entire history of our nation's economy, you will find that there wasn't a single instance of all the macro fundamentals being where it is today. Yes, we have seen some vulnerability, and as we said, we have deliberately built up the spaces to deal with any vulnerability. If you look at the level of reserves that Sri Lanka has had in the past, certainly this is the period where we have had the most, Nista. So we had that comfort. We used a part of that additional monies that we had in order to protect the overall system stability, which we did. And now we are in a position to deal with it even better.
The salaries of the Sri Lanka Transport Board employees have been increased by 39%. The salary increase will become effective from this month. This increase has been granted following a discussion held by the Sri Lanka Independent Transport Workers Union with President Mahinda Rajapaksa. 372 million rupees has been allocated to grant this salary increase. Accordingly, the minimum salary of SLTB employee will be increased to 11,730. Up to now, it was only 8,030 rupees. We're into a short break. We'll be back with more local news.
Welcome back. You're watching Rupavani News and we have more local stories. Well, the Mihin Lanka services are being carried out as normal. Well, this morning, a Mihin Lanka flight left for Indonesia from Katunayake Airport and had to return to the airport after 1 hour as a security measure. Well, the flight MJ603 left for Jakarta at 7:20 a.m. with 200 passengers aboard and later developed a signal saying that there was smoke in the cockpit. The pilots immediately decided to turn back the flight and it was landed at Katunayake without any problem. Later it was found that there was no technical fault or any fire.
The police has informed that there is no proof of the person named Kumar Gunaratna, who is alleged to be missing, has arrived in Sri Lanka. The police informed that based on complaints received by them about the missing of this person and another female person named Dimuthu Atigala, investigations have commenced. It has been informed to the police that Kumar Gunaratna was missing from a house in Kiribathgoda area last Saturday. Another complaint has been received that Dimuthu Atigala was missing from the time she was travelling in a bus. The police informed that investigations have revealed that Kumar Gunaratna is an Australian citizen. Police media spokesman SP Ajit Rohana said that it has become clear that this person appeared in 3 names such as Dayalal, Daskon and Kumar Gunaratnam. It is not reported that he arrived in Sri Lanka under any of these names. We have taken statements by people in Kiribathgoda house to which he was reported to be staying, but none of these statements says that he was in that house. Well, the leaders of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna also informed recently that there is no one named Kumar Gunaratne in that party. However, at the Frontline Socialist Party meeting held today, it was stated that the person called Kumar Gunaratne was in Sri Lanka for the last few months. Chamira Kotswat of Frontline Socialist Party said that several media institutions have reported that Comrade Kumar was not in Sri Lanka. Among the people presented at this meeting have met Comrade Kumar within the last 5 to 6 months, and they have sat together and talked together, and they built up our movement. Since the police informed that Kumar Gunaratne is an Australian citizen, we checked with the Sri Lankan High Commission Admiral Thisara Samarasinha about this matter.
Investigation so far reveals that no such person by the name of Premakumara Gunaratne has in fact entered Sri Lanka in the recent past. It reveals that such a person has not entered Sri Lanka through the normal channels of immigration. So under these circumstances, we are unable to establish the authenticity of this claim or allegation and the person.
The police media spokesman explained about Dimuthu Atigala, who is reported to be missing. Police media spokesman Espith Ajit Rohana said that this lady, Dimuthu Atigala, was in politics of this country for the last several years, and if it was necessary for the police to question her, they had all the time to do so, and they reject the allegation that the police is involved in her report missing. Siritunga Jayasuriya and Vikramabahu Karunaratne, who are scheduled to participate in the Jaffna May Day rally of the United National Party, was also present in the first rally of the Frontline Socialist Party held today.
The Sri Lanka Youth Housing Project, implemented by the National Youth Services Council, was started in Mavanala recently under the patronage of Minister Dallas Alahaperuma. Well, under the Youth Housing Project scheme, housing units will be constructed in 332 Divisional Secretariat divisions. The objective of the scheme is to provide facilities for the youth who have dedicated their lives for the youth programs. The minister addressing the function said that the youth population of this country has the capability to undertake any task that could be benefiting the motherland.
The Kaprupa Puravara program of the Badulla district has commenced. The inaugural session was held at the 8 Mile post of Riddhi Maliyadda recently. The Coconut Development Board and the Janata Estate Development Ministry is implementing this program. Along with the inaugural session, a coconut planting nursery, a centre for collecting coconut raw material and a coconut product exhibition also took place. Minister Jagat Pushpakumara presented the relevant funds for the project. Several lorries and machinery were also distributed to the coconut industrialists. The Divinaguma domestic unit participants of Riddhi Maliyadda received coconut samplings at this function. The program of the Kapruka Sipnana for the grade 6 students also commenced at this function. The Badulla district parliamentarian Thenuka Vidana Gamage also attended this function.
Well, it's time to move on to the trading details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. The oil price share index decreased by 10.13 to close at 5,413 cents 12, while the Milanka price index was up by 3.49 to close at 4,897.16 at the Colombo Exchange today. The daily turnover was 0.1 billion rupees today. You're watching Rupavani News. Time for a short break, and we'll be back with the international stories in a while. Welcome back. You're watching Rupavani News. Time for news from overseas. Moving on to Libya. Libya's Justice Minister says that Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of the country's former leader, would not be handed over to the International Criminal Court, the ICC. Well, this was announced after the Hague-based court rejection on Libya's request to postpone his surrender. Minister Ali Ashur said that Saif al-Islam, who remains in a secret prison in the custody of Zintan rebels who caught him last year, will be tried for financial corruption and crimes of murder and rape in Libya by Libyan judges. The ICC says it has jurisdiction over the case because it issued warrants last year for the arrest of Muammar Gaddafi and also the other leaders. The minister said that Libya's legal system was the primary focus, not that of the ICC.
Well, North Korea plans to launch a new rocket. It is in defiance of a United Nations resolution and despite condemnation from the United States and its allies. North Korea says that the UNHA-3 rocket will carry a weather satellite into space when it launched between April 12th and the 16th to coincide with the centenary of the country's founding father, Kim Il-sung. United States, Japan and South Korea have said that the rocket is in disguise ballistic missile test.
Well, Francis Glasgow Navarro's glass artwork exhibition, King of Modern Class, attracts hundreds of visitors, and it is held in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Well, glassblowing is an ancient art which was invented around 2,000 years ago by Syrian craftsmen. The 69-year-old Navarro was born in France, and he became very capable of glassblowing in his 20s, and now he's a well-known glassblower.
Hello and a very good evening. You're with me, Zinat Bongzo, bringing you the latest in the world of sports. Sri Lanka's tennis star Harshana Gudemanna has won the Davis Cup of Hong Kong. It is after 60 years of the tennis history in Sri Lanka that a victory of this nature has been achieved. Harshana Gudemanna won 3 matches in the tournament held at the Victoria International Tennis Court of Hong Kong, and he faced the American player Jonathan Chouet in the finals. He defeated the American player by 3-1. The veteran tennis players in Sri Lanka commenting on this victory achieved by Harshana Gudemanna says that from this victory, the future of tennis in Sri Lanka will get a massive boost. The other players participated from Sri Lanka in this tournament were Nishantha Nadaraja, Rajiv Rajapaksha, Rohan De Silva, Tyagaraja and Dinesh Kannan.
Well, with sports news, we wrap up today's bulletin of RuPoint News. Together with Zenith and Clifford, I'm Sharon, wishing you a very pleasant night.
Good night.